Do you ever feel nickeled and dimed by the cruising industry? Well, you're not alone. Travel experts are all over the internet complaining about how cruise prices keep going up while the benefits keep getting cut. But before you go and cancel that cruise booking, there are 7 things you need to know. Yes, some things have gotten worse, but I've found hacks that can actually save you more money now. I'm Gary with Optimal Cruising, bringing you fresh cruise advice, money-saving hacks, and secret strategies that the cruise lines don't advertise. Let's get started. When I first started cruising, you could get an unlimited drink package for under $50 a day. Now, some cruise lines are charging over $100 a day for these drink packages. And on top of that, they're making cuts. Some cruise lines now have a 15 drink limit per day, when there used to be no limit at all. These drink packages used to be unlimited and all-inclusive, but not anymore. Now cruise lines are starting to limit which drinks are covered in the drink package, which means they're pricing certain alcoholic drinks outside of the range of what the package covers. So you're more limited in your selection. And that also hurts passengers who want to buy drinks a la carte instead of going with the package, because now you're paying more per drink. But there are some tricks you can use to get around this nonsense. For one, right now, during the holiday season, Norwegian is offering again their Free at Sea program, which allows you to purchase that drink package for between $200 and $250 per person for an entire 7-day cruise. That's a great deal. Those are throwback prices. And if you can't find a cruise where that package is offered, maybe skip the drink package altogether. There's some other hacks you can use to save a lot of money on these drinks. For one, many cruise lines let you bring your own wine or champagne on board. They'll allow 1 or 2 bottles per adult passenger. And in some cases, you can even bring beer on board. You need to check with your cruise line and find out what's allowed, but max that out and bring on that alcohol. And when you want to buy drinks on board, look for onboard deals. Almost all cruise lines offer drink specials because they're appealing to the people who didn't buy the package so that they can make some more money and sell some more drinks. You'll find happy hour times where you can get drinks at half price or even less. You'll find certain days during a cruise where the cruise line is discounting a particular drink or having a 2-for-1 sale, which works great for me and my wife. By using these strategies, I flipped the script on the cruise line. And in some ways, I feel like I'm nickel and diming them, which makes me feel a lot better than the other way around. But drinks aren't the only place they're trying to hit our wallets. When I first started cruising, you could go into the main dining room and order every single entree on the menu at no charge. You could order as many entrees as you want at no charge. Now that's no longer the case. Cruise lines are putting big limitations on this stuff. Many cruise lines will not allow you to order more than 2 main entrees without being charged. Some cruise lines limit it to 1 now, which kind of puts a damper on the fun of being on vacation and trying different things. And it's something that cruisers have been complaining about now, and I agree, because when I go on vacation, I might see 2 or 3 things. Maybe I want to try a little of each, but you can't really do that as much anymore. And on top of that, many cruise lines are taking some premium items which used to be available in the main dining room on 1 or 2 nights of the cruise, like a steak, and putting that on an upcharge menu in the main dining room. And with the rapid increase of specialty dining options in the cruising industry, there seems to be an effort to make the main dining room seem less appealing so that more and more people will fork over the additional money to get into these specialty restaurants. But there is a solution to this. For one thing, I've noticed that in the buffet on most cruise ships, they're offering almost the same menu that's being served in the main dining room. And in the buffet, there's absolutely no limitation on what you can take. And when you go to the main dining room, if you're not happy with what you ordered, just make that clear and ask for something else, because they will swap it out for you and bring you another dish without charging you that extra plate charge. And most cruise lines will still bring you as many side dishes as you want. So if you feel like the main dish is not enough, you can order 2 or 3 sides so that you have enough food. Desserts, they'll usually bring you more than one as well if you want to try some different dessert options. And also, specialty dining venues are cheaper during lunchtime and cheaper on embarkation day, up to 30% less. So if you want to try one of these options, those are the times to do it where you won't pay full price. And speaking of embarkation day, that's when you'll notice this next big change. So we're paying more and more for cruises, but they're cutting back on service. On my last cruise, I was wondering where all the towel animals went. In fact, I used to get cabin service twice a day, and that was standard on cruise ships. It was kind of a special, unique thing about going on a cruise. Nowadays, I can't remember the last cruise I was on where I got service twice a day. Even on cruise lines that claim they still do that, it was cut to once a day by my cabin attendant. The issue is, the staff isn't what it used to be. They used to have many more staff members per guest than they do these days. So cruise lines are saving money in that way and making more profits. Now, service has mostly been cut back on the more budget cruise lines. So if you're looking for the better service, you might want to stick with a Celebrity, a Princess, a Holland America, where they're still doing some of the things that most cruise lines were doing 10, 20 years ago. But there is a workaround that I've used on the more budget cruise lines that has gotten me better service recently. And that is on embarkation day, when I first get on that ship, I find my cabin attendant, introduce myself, learn his name so I know who to go to when I need something, and I give him a $20 tip up front. That goes a long way with these guys, especially these days when a lot of people are paying gratuities through the cruise line, and I'm not really sure if these guys ever see any of it. So if you start handing cash to these cabin attendants up front, they're more likely to go all out in your cabin and give you the best service. And those service cuts aren't the only hidden fees cruise lines are handing us. A couple months ago, I was booking a cruise. I saw a great advertised price for a 7-night cruise. And when I got to the final page to pay, the price had almost doubled. When they added in the taxes and the port fees, hotel service charges, cruise lines are getting really creative at marketing very low prices, but they don't include everything in that. This is why I like how MSC does this, because on their website, their price includes all taxes and fees. So if it says $400 per person, that's what it's gonna be. And there are other hidden fees you need to watch out for. ATM fees, for one. They've gone up to over $10 on some cruise ships. Some cruise lines are now charging higher fees for you to take money out of your onboard account and use it in the casino. A quick way around this, just to bring enough cash on board with you that you can pay for everything you're going to want to pay for, including gratuities if you want to pay them in cash instead of being hit with another hidden charge for them. But it gets even worse. Even loyal cruisers are being hit hard. If I had built up enough loyalty status to be at the top level on a cruise line, and then all of a sudden they changed the rules on me and said, well, now if you don't spend X amount of dollars per year or every 2 years, you're going to lose that status, I'd be pissed. And that's exactly what Carnival Cruise Lines did this year. Now, the other cruise lines haven't followed suit yet, and hopefully they won't. But some of the perks being offered by other loyalty programs are going down. Things are getting cut. One gem, though, that stands out is MSC's loyalty program. At least at this point, it seems to be one of the better offerings out there. In fact, it's not that hard to climb the ladder in their program, and the perks they offer, like free specialty dining restaurants and free drinks at a certain level, are really good. They're industry leading. And if you don't already know this, MSC will program match. So hey, if you had the top level at Carnival and you go on an MSC cruise, that first cruise, you can have MSC give you their loyalty program benefits at their top tier. That's unbelievable. So at a time where a lot of cruising benefits are getting cut, this solution could get you a lot of extras and save you a lot of money. So with all these changes going on, which cruise lines are still actually worth it? A friend of mine recently asked me, so which cruise line is it still worth going on? And the answer is, unfortunately, it depends. So if you're looking for the best value, try MSC. They're offering some of the best prices out there now, and their perks are still pretty good overall. Their food is really good. Their food quality has not been declining in the way that some other cruise lines' food quality has. But they're also relatively a newcomer to the American market. So we'll see what happens. But for right now, it's the best value line, in my opinion. That being said, if you're looking for the greatest ship experience, go Royal Caribbean. They have the biggest, latest, baddest ships out there. Their price might be slightly higher, but you can find good deals if you book during sales season or wave season, and if you book far in advance or last minute. And then if you're just adults traveling by yourself and you want that full old-fashioned cruise service experience, try Virgin. They're still trying to be that special cruise line. It is adults only, but the service is top-notch on there, and the food quality and the limitations that other cruise lines are implementing have not taken shape at Virgin. It's slightly more expensive. You will pay a little more for Virgin, but if you're just traveling with adults, it's worth a shot. But before you even book your next cruise, you've got to hear this next tip. But first, if you've gotten any value from this info so far, make sure you subscribe to our channel and get all of our cruising updates. Cruising can definitely still be worth it if you follow a couple of booking strategies. I just booked this Norwegian cruise, 7 nights in Alaska, for $1,900 total cost for 2 adults, everything included. Unlimited drinks, specialty dining, Wi-Fi, all inclusive. That's a cruise that you might spend $3,500 to $4,000 on at a normal time. So there's 2 basic strategies I use to book cruises that help me get the best deals. One is I look for good sale periods. So anytime toward the end of the year, November through Christmas really, you're going to see ongoing sales offered, and they're all going to be about the same value. They'll be called different things. Of course, you'll have your Black Friday sale. You'll have your oops, you missed it Black Friday sale. You'll have your pre-Christmas sale. Once January rolls around, from January through March, you'll have the wave season sales, which are discounts cruise lines offer because they're trying to start the year off in that first quarter to show good earnings. So they really push hard to make sales in those first 3 months. And then the rest of the year, there will be off and on sale periods. Pretty much any holiday you can think of, they're going to offer some kind of promotion. If you can book during these times, you're going to save a lot more money and get a better value on your cruise, which makes it worth it even though some cruise lines are making certain cutbacks. And then this other strategy I use, you can use any time of the year if you're flexible on what ship you want to be on. I often book last-minute cruises. They are some of the best deals out there. In fact, right now I can find a cruise for 1 week for under $300 per person, last minute, meaning I probably have to travel within the next 2 to 4 weeks. Sometimes last-minute cruises can be 2 months out. So while you have to be more flexible with booking last-minute cruises, you will find some of the best deals you'll ever get on a cruise. So now that you know 7 hacks that make cruising still worth it, there are some other things going on in the industry where they try to take more money out of your pocket. I'll tell you how to avoid those right here.